Hello, people of culture. I'm so excited to meet you all again on another episode of Best to Brush. And right now, in front of you all are the two models of Stormfiends that come from the Skaven faction, the heavy infantry from the Skaven faction. Now, I've already done the painting work for both, and the first one was the model on the left side, which used the grenade launcher as the weapon. And for this episode, we will show you the step-by-step process of painting the right side model, which used the Gatling gun. And not only the process is for the basic painting, we will show you all the process of providing highlight, detail, and also effect of the model itself. So, without further ado, let's show you how the process began. We're gonna start work by using a button black to cover all of the surface and as a prime paint. We put all of the parts in disassemble so we can much more easier to reach on the disclosed area, and then later once we've put the basic color we will assemble it all together before we do any finishing work. So next we will use Buxban glue to cover all the flesh and muscle area of the body. This is for the basic color. Then we will later continue to layer it using other more light color. For the armor plate, we will use contour blue as the basic color. We're gonna put this contour blue all over the outer side and also the inner side of the armor plate. And next, for the nail on the feet, we will use the usual base red bone to give it a bone color, white, a little bit creamy white. So for the next part, I'm going to put some extra detail, which is the metallic part that integrate into the flesh of this monster. For this one, I'm using rough iron from the army painter because of its dark and metallic texture. So some of this part there's a very thin border between this metallic part and the flesh itself, so we just have to use our feeling to discern between which one is the metallic area and which one is the flesh one. And for the next step, we will color the body of the Gatling gun, and for this part, the metallic part, we will use lead belcher just to give the basic metallic color. And later for the boiler on the back side, I'm gonna use rune lord brass to give a different color. And also there's a small gas tube on the side of the belt, and we will use rune lord brass also to color this gas tube with a metallic paint of brass color. So I'm gonna use corpus black to give a more contrast highlight on the cord which is used to tie the flesh into the weaponry Gatling gun. And next we need to put the minis on the base, but before that we're gonna put basing texture into the black base, and for this job I'm using the Soilworks acrylic base spring soil. So next we will gonna use Acrox Earth Shade to give a shade on the recess area of the part before we later continue with layering. This should give a more contrast to the more enclosed area with a darker color from the Acrox Earth Shade. We don't want to use too much Acrox Earth Shade without diluting with water, because Acrox Earth Shade is left a very dark stain on all over the places. So for this we need to add some water before we use the Acrox Earth Shade. Next, we're gonna do some detail painting. Starting, we want the metallic belt in the front side. For this one, we will use screaming bell, which give more reddish to brown metallic copper-like metal. This is also that this color selection should be tuned in with the Stormfiend that I've already painted before. I'm gonna put a wash using Quelia green shade on the brain area. This will show more texture and contrast of the brain. Next, we're gonna put some thin layer into the surface of the skin to give a much lighter color and more highlight and contrast between the deeper skin and the outer skin. And for this job, I'm gonna use Cadian fleshstone layer and put several thin layer, and then later I'm gonna put another thin layer which give a more liquid gradient between the rock flesh between the Raglan flesh shade wash and the Cadian fleshstone. Next, I'm using allied glue layer to give a secondary layer and highlight into the blue armor plate. This should give a more better contrast with the recess area. And now I'm using white scar layer to give the edge highlight into the black belt and the black strap. For the strand of hair, in the face part, I'm using Grazier. This is the similar template that is used to color the Grazier hero. I also use Wordbearer's red layer to color the remaining cord which connect to this compressor. We are just a few steps away on completing this minis, and you can already see that this mini has a lot of dangling cords, looks complex and very crowded. The few final steps are we're going to put warpstone glow layer on this hose, which give somehow green liquid channeling green liquid to the boiler and toward the bodies of the Stormfiend itself. Now we're going to put technical tesseract glow over the green hose to give a glowing effect, a very soft glowing effect to this green hose. I'm also putting Nihilak oxide rain arbitrarily all over the boiler and the compressor to give where of being used. Gonna apply this very thin and use a lot of water to dilute the Nihilak oxide. And now for the last part, I try to create a hot molten metal effect into this used Gatling barrel metal until yellow and then white, very hot color. I'll try to put okay, so we've now already put the white color on the center, and we're gonna work into the other part by giving an extra gradient of red and orange transition. For this job I really use a lot of Lamian medium, so I get a very translucent color which should give a very good transition into the outer part, into every of the color.